education muna. Ha? I'll give you one example lang. In the last, I'll take this up during the budget of education. How many school buildings do we plan to put up next year? Roughly 110,000.
47,000.
Yeah, but if you include
The creation of
if you include the computer lab, you
What page is
yan, provision and maintenance of basic education facilities, construction of classrooms, including K-12 and senior high school would be 37,492 classrooms,
Okay, I'll give you an
plus
idea.
10,000.
For
So-
2016, since hindi nyo nagastos yung budget for procurement, 66,000. 2016.
Yeah,
2017, you plan to construct 47,000.
yes.
You add the two, that's more than 110,000, 120, thereabout. In the last 6 years of Aquino, how many classrooms did he build?
6 years. Did you have it? How many classrooms? 6 years of Aquino. They're getting the information for the 6 years
Let me share the information.
of Aquino.
In the last 6 years, the administration of President Aquino constructed 118,000 classrooms. Next year, we expect the DepEd to construct, this year and next, 120,000 classrooms.
So you're saying it's undoable because 6 years of Aquino. And that's
I'm
100.
not making, I'm just giving you the number.
Yes, that it's quite
I'm
difficult.
saying that if they're prepared, they probably can do it, and they're not the ones constructing it. They'll pass this money to DPWH,
Yes.
okay?
Just note that it's 47,000 for 2017.
17, correct.
Yes.
And 66,000 the balance this year,
Balance of 2016, yes.
216. So reasonably, if it took us 6 years to construct 118,000 classrooms, do we believe we can construct 120,000 next year? Without changes in DPWH,
That's why I hope
without changes in the planning,
that you're
on lump
correct.
sums,
You're
on
correct.
line item budgeting.
You're correct in pointing it out. First, there's the need. Second, it's been planned for. And third, there are resources. And fourth, most important, it would really create economic activity in the rural areas when these are built.
Okay,
And so,
correct.
there's no reason why DepEd and DPWH should not embark on this nationwide classroom building project because it's good for everybody. So that when I stand here before you next year, I can say, yes, 100,000 classrooms were
Were
built.
built.
Yes, I
Correct.
wish. I
Correct.
wish they're here.
Correct.
So can we ask the
Okay.
DepEd
So now, halimbawa, so we know na mahirap magawa ito. Okay? Now, what is simple to do naman? Halimbawa, SUCs. How much will it cost to have free public college education?
Oh,
How much will it cost?
8 or 9 billion? Yung libre lahat.
Magkano yung total revenue collection sa mga estudyante sa tuition fees of all SUCs?
Remember, I wanted free college. Mr. President, I wanted to introduce a provision apart from what we cited earlier on free health, free subsidy, complete free tertiary education. For next year, we had focused on STEAM, on science, technology, mathematics, etc. Because according to the CHED, during the hearing, if I remember correctly, the funds needed would be over 9 billion. I'm not certain of that, and they said it would take time for them to compute. I don't know why, but I had wanted to include complete free college education. That
So,
would be
meaning to say, 9 billion lang. Libre na
kung 9 billion.
ang public
tama
college
pala.
education.
Who has it?
For
You have
2
it?
years.
9 billion ba?
Kasi K-12 tayo eh. 1/4 wala ngayon eh. 3 years, right? Next year ba? 2 years na. 11 pa lang, di ba? So 3 years.
CCT pa lang, hindi pa lahat. Oh, let me, I correct myself. I wanted free college education, but if it's not possible because of budgetary constraints, then
Why are we talking about budgetary constraints?
when we have so much money.
Correct.
Actually, I wanted all the CCT families to have free college education for every college-age
Why only
child.
CCT families?
And that's 9 billion. I wanted everybody free college education. Kaya naman eh.
9 billion lang eh.
But no, 9 billion for the CCT families.
No. Total collection of all SUCs today is 9.5
Magkano ba lang?
billion.
Pag libre lang.
So with 9 that's all in the BESF. You know, we read all the materials. I don't mind the DepEd submitting another thick material like that for line item. I don't mind. We read all the materials. Now, it's just 9.5 billion. Hindi ibig sabihin libre yon, tuition lang yon.
Tuition, yes.
May gastos pa yan. So the idea is to reduce their out-of-pocket expenses. So if we can source out 9.5 billion in this budget, which easily I can do, dun lang sa mga binanggit ko kanina, traveling expenses, as an example, there's many more, yung hindi fast-moving din,
We've provided
pwede palang libreng pampublikong kolehiyo. Which is not really libre, tuition fee lang to. Okay, so that's one.
just
Okay.
to
Now,
complement
let
what
me
you're saying.
congratulate the chairman. Because I noticed in the budget, in the committee report, dinagdagan mo yung SEC budget.
Yes.
Now's also the opportunity to make the investments to improve the equipment, the classrooms of the SUCs habang 25% walang estudyante. Kasi may K-12 eh. Now's the time to do it.
5 million this year, 2016.
At sino ba, what is the makeup of those going to
Yeah.
SUCs? What is the average income?
Let me just answer your previous question. Thank you for that. In the present year's budget, we have a 5 million across the board capital outlay addition for every SUC. We have 1.5 million in 2017 for capital outlay as well. Now, to your
In
question,
the committee report, the House increased the budget for SUCs.
yes, and we sustained that.
You sustained it and you
Yes.
increased it further. So magkano naman natataas sa SUC? Total.
Total
In the
addition
committee
for
report.
SUCs. From NEP.
Konti na lang, libre na eh.
The total increase from NEP will be 1.7 billion, Mr.
Billion.
President.
Okay. So kung 6.2 na lang, libre na. Daling hanapin yun. Okay, so that's one example. Yun palagay ko, will there be an absorptive problem? Hindi ba magagastos yun kung libreng tuition o magagastos yun? The cornerstone also of the Duterte administration, which I agree, is spending on human resource development significantly. And I support that. Okay? And we're here to assist and help out. Okay? So, think about it. Kung 2015, 3.5 trillion, yung nagastos lang 2.2 disbursement. Obligated 2.5. And we're 10 billion lang. Yun, tiyak magagastos yun.
This 10 billion is for free college education tuition fee pa lang. Yes.
Tuition fee pa lang.
And of course, we want to allocate, as you said, for, I'm sorry? Tuition. Yes.
Tuition lang.
But we also
Hindi
need to
kasama
allocate for
miscellaneous
capital outlay.
expenses, hindi pa kasama yung... Okay? Yeah, we're not even... We can improve pa the SUCs and spend more on capital outlay, use the opportunity because of K-12 to make the necessary investments to improve the quality of instruction.
We're talking while you're, and we're hearing your suggestion.
And then,
we-
Pogi
we-
points pa, no? During the time
No.
of the Duterte administration, siya nag-umpisa
ng free college
ng free
education.
college.
Mr. President, nung July pa lang, kinausap ko na si Sec Chokno, I went to DBM. Ang unang sinabi ko, maliban sa libreng healthcare sa lahat ng mahirap na natupad po natin sa budget, Pangalawa,
Dadating tayo dun.
libreng irigasyon sa lahat ng magsasaka. Pangatlo, sinabi ko,
Lahat
kung
ito
maaari,
nabanggit ko rin nung
lahat,
previous budget hearing.
great. That's why, natuto ako sa inyo. At,
No, we
pinapa-
work together. We work together.
Pinapa-
Kaya Ralph Lauren tayo, di ba?
Tama, no? Recto corner Legarda.
Recto corner Legarda. Di ba? Okay. Or it's the other way around. It's Legarda corners recto.
That's a good tandem. Oo nga, no, ngayon ko na naisip yung Ralph Lauren.
Okay? Now,
Baliw.
let me move forward.
And I suggested that na libre lahat. And
So,
then,
you agree with me, kayang gastusin yan. Libreng kolehiyo.
I agree with you in everything you've said
Walang
since
may
3 hours
masasayang
ago.
na pera ba doon?
Hindi.
Wala.
We're investing in the human capital,
Correct.
in human
Correct.
resource of our country.
Correct.
Gusto ko sana libre nga lahat ng college
O
education.
sige, let's abbreviate it now on the
sige na.
education. O
Ralph
sige.
Lauren.
Let's
Sige.
go to healthcare. Let's go to healthcare. Okay, and I congratulate the sponsor also for putting in the budget additional resources for health insurance. Roughly 3 billion ang linagay ninyo, which is very good. And with that, of course, my position has always been in the past. Today pa lang, universal health coverage na tayo. Sinasabi lang, look at the data. What are they saying? 92% of Filipinos are covered by health insurance. Is that correct?
92%, yes. So this
Okay.
3 billion will cover the invisible, informal sector, the poorest of the
Correct.
poor, 8 million Filipinos.
In fact, the poorest of the poor are already covered if we follow the CCT. They're automatically covered. Okay? Now, the problem with PhilHealth is, in any part of the world, pag 90% na yung coverage ng health insurance, that is essentially universal health care. You should not deny any Filipino na nagkasakit, pumunta ng hospital, what do you call that? You should sleep there? Huh? No. Yung matutulog sa hospital. Confined. Anyone who gets confined in a hospital, universally at 90%, that is 100%. The default position is, you have universal health coverage, you should not deny any patient PhilHealth benefits. Because we're already spending from sin taxes, thanks to the presiding officer, has been earmarked for PhilHealth. For the poorest of the poor supposed to be. Plus, you have regular paying members. 92% na ng population. Mali pa yung bilang nila ng population. Essentially, it's 100%. You do not need a PhilHealth card. There is even no need for that hospital to log in to a portal na sinasabi ito yung members na mali naman yung pagkalista ng mga pangalan sa IT na yon, sa portal na yon. Okay? So having said that, dapat universal health coverage tayo. Now, we have the same mind, and that's why you put 3 billion in the budget, believing them na kulang pa rin ng 3 billion. But I will still support that. Okay? Now, magkano ba talaga ang, pag nagkasakit, how much is the Philippine health insurance per capita binibigay sa kada na nagkasakit? How much is that?
What's, sir? Per capita.
You have the other there, 7,000. 7 million.
We don't have it.
7, 8 million.
It's, I don't want to invent a figure.
Yeah.
They
That-
they
yeah.
don't have it now.
Yeah. Let me
but-
share the information. It's roughly 11,000 per capita. So, ang sagot lang ng PhilHealth is 11,000. Sa lahat na nagkakasakit, on the average, okay, 100 billion yan eh. Next year, magkano yung ilalagay natin? 53. 50 na yung inallocate ng DBM Secretary sa NEP. You added 3, that's 53. All the contributions of all of us here working who contribute to the system, progressive rates pa yan. Higher your salary, the higher your contribution. Right? Ang total collection ng PhilHealth roughly is 100 billion. 7 million to 8 million nagkakasakit taon-taon. Roughly 11,000. Ang sunod na tanong, magkano yung out-of-pocket expense ng pangkaraniwang tao?
That would depend on the illness, and that would depend
Correct.
whether
On
it
the
would be
average na.
an
You can do an
outpatient.
average. You can do an average of that. More or less, yung 11,000 is good for 30 to 40%. 60 to 70% pa ang ilalabas niya. More or less, on the average. Now, I proposed last year, this year, let me propose it again. Let's efficiently use our resources. Ha? Yung PAGCOR at PCSO. O kahit na natin hindi na pag-usapan yung PAGCOR PCSO, yung hindi nagagastos na budget, ilagay mo sa pangkalusugan. Masasayang ba yung pera niya? Mananakaw ba yan? Mapapakinabangan ba yan? Ma-improve ba yung absorptive capacity? Di ba? So how much could you allocate more to reduce? At sino ba yung pumupunta sa public hospital? Hindi ba yung pinakamahirap din? Yung mayaman sa pribado naman eh. Yung pinakamahirap din.
Actually, in PhilHealth, there's no balance billing. It's already being implemented.
You
And
know, the no balance billing is probably true only in the specialty hospitals. But that's not happening. How many public hospitals do we have?
Kidney, lungs, heart center,
That's all
Philippine Children's.
that's all in Metro
Oh,
Manila.
Metro Manila.
Those are all specialty hospitals. Ang karamihan ng, you know how our public system works. You have the barangay health station. You have the district hospital owned by the provinces. Yun ang
regional and
pinakamarami. And then the provincial hospital, then the regional hospital in the province, and then specialty hospitals in Metro Manila. Pag hindi na kaya sa region, dadalhin sa Metro Manila na yan. Yun yung specialty hospitals.
Agriculture Secretary Manny Peñuel announced
Under this proposed measure, Mr. President, maski sa regional hospital, lahat ng binanggit, basta state-owned hospital, they should not turn away any indigent patient.
When you say state-owned, that's national government.
Even
But that is not happening on the ground. Hindi totoo yan.
For next
I
year.
heard the debate also of President Duterte, Mar Rojas, Grace Poe during the presidential elections. And President Duterte knew that that is not true. You have the data there. Provincial district hospitals.
Mr. President, it is not just the national hospitals, but even those in the provinces.
Pangako lang yan, but that's not true.
Well, titingnan ko po sa kanila dahil naglagay tayo ng budget. May I just say, so that
Yeah.
it's also on the record, what I envision with this 3 billion allocation for universal health care would be not just those who can come to Metro Manila for the specialty hospitals, but all state-owned, whether provincial or regional hospitals, as long as they are PhilHealth accredited, no balance billing for the poor of this country. I agree with you, sir. Pangako lang yan. Yan ang ating cynicism over the
You
implementation.
need more resources to
Yeah.
do that. That's what I'm saying. At the appropriate time,
But we
pagdating
asked
ng DOH,
PhilHealth.
yes,
Yeah.
pagdating nila dito, I will prove to you na yun, they say that lang because they want the local governments to pay for it. But there's no money for that. There's none. Now, what we're discussing here is the national budget as well. 1 trillion yung hindi nagastos. You want to spend the budget faster? That's one way. Halimbawa, how many public hospitals do we have nationwide? 895. How many are LGU owned? 777. So sinong inuunang pinupuntahan? District hospital.
LGU.
Ilan lang ba ang DOH retained hospitals? 71.
But this is not just DOH, but lahat, di ba? Pati LGU.
Yeah, that's PhilHealth. Now, remember in the beginning, I also mentioned that the population will grow by 10 million in 6 years. 104 to 114. Magkano naman, moving forward, magkano naman ang... So, when you increase the budget of PhilHealth, that is the demand side. You're improving accessibility of people to get health care. Sa supply side naman, magkano ang budget next year for health enhancement program? Lumiit. How much is it?
21.8 billion. There's an allocation, Mr. President, of 21.8 billion for health enhancement.
How much was it in 2016?
Present year's budget,
26
26 billion for 2016, yes.
to 21. Okay. Ang laki ng backlog natin sa public health, sa hospital natin. You see it on TV pag may dengue, you see bursting on the seams. You go to any public hospital, kulang ang hospital bed. We have to we know that 10 million new souls will be born in the next 6 years. How many new hospitals should we be building? How many equipment, magkanong gamot na kailangan? For 10 million as well, di ba? So we have to plan accordingly. Now, what I'm saying is that this is an opportunity for us. If we're really talking about poverty reduction and making it easier for the poor, yung pangkaraniwan na pumupunta sa Senado, pangkaraniwan na pupunta sa bahay natin, o nung congressman ako, anong hinihingi? Scholarship, edukasyon, pangmatrikula,
Gamot.
pangkalusugan. Okay? Gamot. PCSO. Total, para sa health din yan. Bakit di na lang natin ilagay yung buong 30 billion? Idagdag natin sa pangkalusugan. We're increasing the demand side. Why not improve the supply side? Increase hospital beds. What is the statistic ba? What is the data? For every 500, you need 1 hospital bed? How many additional beds do you need? Scholarship for those taking up medicine so that we can deploy. O incidentally, magbabawas tayo ng 20,000 nurses, teachers, dentists nationwide next year. 20,000 health practitioners next year. Magbabawas tayo.
Yeah.
Nandun sa 2017 budget eh. So that's the point I'm trying to drive
Yes,
at.
I agree with you. In
I will
fact,
discuss it in detail in the DOH budget. But we have this opportunity to increase the budget also for the health sector. And as I pointed out, ito yung kulang. How many private hospitals do we have? 1,095. Yung PhilHealth, of the 100 billion spent a year, how much goes to public hospitals and how much goes to private? 2/3 go to private. 1/3 lang ang public. Shouldn't it be the other way around? Or 50-50 man lang? That way we have more resources to develop your public hospital system.
yeah. Mr. President, before we leave this portion, let me just clarify the universal healthcare coverage. It does not only include the specialty hospitals. I made sure that was
No, I agree with you on
Discussed.
the universal health coverage, yes. Para sa lahat. Pero hindi sufficient for no balance billing. Just like what I was saying on the education side, reduce the cost to get an education. Let's reduce the cost to get quality health services as well. That's all I'm saying. Can we find a way? If not through the budget, legislate, make a law that can be funded in the future.
May I
Yes.
read into the record the PhilHealth memo to me October 28, because we even created a technical working group to make sure that they understood what they wanted, that the indigent, ang pinakamahihirap sa ating bansa, ay magkakaroon ng point of care assistance at no balance billing. So, it says here, the following patients and their dependents are provided with PhilHealth care coverage if they qualify
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
familiar with
assessment.
that letter. I've read it also.
Okay. So
Now,
I
my
just,
question is, may bagong board na ba tayo sa PhilHealth? Or is it the same people?
He's an acting CEO, acting president and CEO, Mr. Aristosa.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Senator Soto.
with the permission of the two distinguished members of the Senate, it grieves my heart to break up a very healthy and informative debate. But I'm not worried about the senators. I'm worried about the employees of the Senate.
Yeah.
They might develop ulcers, Mr. President. So may I seek the indulgence of both
Yes.
senators that we take a break and we resume at
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock this afternoon, Mr. President. So to give the others time to have a break or a lunch, Mr. President.
Well, it can be at 2:30 if we wish, so.
2:30 is better, Mr. President. With the permission of the two senators, I move to suspend the session, not consideration of the House bill. It is a continuation. I move to suspend the session until 2:30 this afternoon, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, session is suspended until 2:30 p.m. this afternoon.
The 38th session of the Senate, in the first regular session of the 17th Congress, is hereby called to order. Let us rise for the opening prayer. Heavenly Father, we open by praising you, for you are our Creator and our Provider. We owe everything to you. We also give you thanks. Thank you for the blessings, the gifts, and for taking good care of us. Thank you too for returning our brother, Senator Manny Pacquiao, to us safe and sound and successful and victorious. We would like to pray for the safety as well as the success of our other colleagues who cannot be with us today as they pursue their business abroad, especially Senator Frank Drilon, who is about to receive a very prestigious award from the government of Japan. Dear God, we believe that you have great plans for the Philippines. We humbly ask your guidance in everything we have to do for the good of our nation. We continue to pray for unity and peace in our country. May the discord between our brothers and sisters be healed by your divine grace and intervention, so our nation can finally be united for the good of our country and for the success of our government. May you use each one of us here in the Senate to bring glory to your name. Please continue to give us the wisdom and courage to practice prudence, temperance, justice, and fortitude in our daily lives. And may you continually shower us with your heavenly graces of faith, hope, and charity to guide us in our lives. In closing, allow us to quote Galatians 6:9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. This we pray in your holy name. Amen. Secretary, please call the roll.
Roll call of senator members. The Honorable Senators Angara, Aquino, Binay, Cayetano, De Lima, Drilon, Ejercito, Escudero, Gatchalian, Gordon, Hunasan, Hontiveros, Lacson, Ligada, Pacquiao, Pangilinan, Po, Recto, Soto, Trillanes, Villanueva, Villar, Zuberi. Senate President Pimentel.
With 13 senators present, the chair declares the presence of a quorum. Majority Leader.
Mr. President, I move that we dispense with the reading of the journal of the 37th session Monday, November 7, and consider the same as approved.
There is a motion to dispense with the reading of the journal of Monday, November 7, 2016, and consider the same as approved. Any objection? There being none, the motion is approved.
Mr. President, we'd like to acknowledge some guests in the Senate, Vice Mayor and barangay officials of District 1 of Nagcarlan, Laguna, headed by Vice Mayor Amelia Hernandez and Councilor Arevalo, Mr. President.
Welcome to the local government officials of Nagcarlan, Laguna, and to all of our guests.
Mr. President, with the consent of the Chamber, I move that before we consider the reference of business, I move to consider to consider PS Resolution 217, taking into consideration PS Resolution 219, 220, 225, 227, and 228.
There is a motion for us to consider before the reference of business Senate Resolution number 217, together with the related resolutions 219, 220, 227, 228. Any objection? There being none, the motion is approved.
May we ask Secretary to read only the title of the measure without prejudice to inserting into the records the entire text of the resolution.
Secretary.
Resolution commending and congratulating Senator Emmanuel Manny Pacman Pacquiao for defeating G.C. Vargas in his comeback boxing match held in Las Vegas, Nevada, and being declared as the new WBO welterweight champion, sponsored by Senator Vicente Soto III.
Mr. President, instead of sponsoring, I understand that Senator Mig Zubiri will also be co-sponsoring it. Let me just state for the record that the resolution is self-explanatory, and to consider also, aside from the resolution I filed, to consider 219, 220, 225, 227, and 228, subject to style. There is one whereas that I would want to include, which is not present in most of the resolutions. And this reads, Mr. President, whereas Senator Manny Pacquiao deserves to be commended because notwithstanding the fact that he has been diligently working as a member of the Philippine Senate, he was able to successfully juggle with it his boxing career, make a return in the ring, and regain the WBO welterweight title. Mr. President, at the proper time, perhaps we may include that whereas. But at this point, may we ask Senator Zubiri to co-sponsor the resolution, Mr. President?
Senator Zubiri is recognized to co-sponsor Senate Resolution number 217.
Maraming salamat, Mr. President, Majority Floor Leader. Isang malaking karangalan para sa akin ang bigyang pugay ngayong hapon na ito ang isang kaibigan at kapwa mambabatas at kapwa taga Mindanao na si Senator Manny Pacquiao. I am particularly proud of the fact that this honorable senator and honorable champion was actually born in Barangay Magsaysay, Kibawe, Bukidnon. Mr. President, it was in his short years in Bukidnon, probably eating our beef there, before he moved to General Santos and grew up in General Santos. It's been 21 years now that Senator Pacquiao has been engaged in the world of professional boxing. Barely 5 feet tall and weighing in 106 pounds, when the young Manny Pacquiao set for a career in 1995 that would change his life forever. Now, more than 2 decades after, the light flyweight from Gensan and Bukidnon is known as one of the greatest athletes the world has ever known. Maraming pumuna sa muling pagbalik ng ating pambansang kamao sa boxing ring sa kabila ng pagkakahalal nito bilang isang senador ng Republika ng Pilipinas. He juggled his training with his duties as legislator of this august chamber. At meron po nagsasabi, at minsan ay iniinsulto pa ang ating pambansang kamao at sinasabing, paano naman siya magte-training and senador siya? Baka hindi siya pumapasok. At gusto ko pong sabihin sa ating mga kababayan na hindi po nag-absent ni minsan ang ating pambansang kamao in these last few months while training for his fight with Mr. Vargas. In fact, he's very active in attending committee hearings and in participating in deliberations and discussions on the floor. You know, the difficulty there, Mr. President, is in the Senate, there are a lot of mental challenges. Mental challenges can also be taxing to one's body. Kaya ako isaludo sa kanya dahil coming out of the Senate, fighting all these mental challenges, he still has the time and the effort of training hard to win championship fights. Manny Pacquiao, no doubt, is one of the greatest boxers in the world, and history would remember him as the first and only boxer to be hailed an 8-division world champion and the first boxer to win in the lineal championship in 5 different weight classes. But history does not stop him from being an octuple world champion. He made a habit of making history, and this time Manny has set his mark as the first sitting senator to win a boxing title. The first sitting senator. This he triumphantly accomplished after his match last Sunday against Jesse Vargas. Kaya mga kapatid, saludong-saludo po ako sa kanya, the Filipino boxing icon, Senator Manny Pacquiao's exemplary performance in a resounding roar of his return in the ring. And I filed this resolution number 225, to congratulate and commend Senator Manny Pacquiao for winning his match against Jesse Vargas. I now stand before you to honor him for his invaluable contribution to Philippine sports and consistently bringing pride to our country. He is not just the pride of the Senate, he is our national pride and inspiration to many. Mabuhay ka, Senator Manny Pacquiao.
Thank you, Senator Subiri. Majority Leader.
Mr. President, may we open the period of amendments, Mr. President?
An objection? Period of amendment for Senate Resolution number 217 is hereby in order.
Mr. President, before the resolutory portion, insert a whereas, which states, whereas Senator Manny Pacquiao deserves to be commended because notwithstanding the fact that he has been diligently working as a member of the Philippine Senate, he was able to successfully juggle with it his boxing career, make a return in the ring, and regain the WBO welterweight title, semicolon, Mr. President. So move.
There is a proposed amendment. Any objection? As read by the Majority Leader. There being none, the amendment is approved.
Mr. President, I move to adopt PS Resolution 217, taking into consideration PS Resolution 219, 220, 225, 227, and 228, and that all members of the Senate present be made co-authors of the measure.
The period of amendment is terminated, and there is now a motion to approve Senate Resolution number 217, taking into consideration proposed Senate Resolutions number 219, 220, 225, 227, 228, and making all senators present as co-authors thereof. Any objection? There being none, the motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. May we recognize Senator Manny Pacquiao?
Senator Manny Pacquiao is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to manifest my thanksgiving for the overflowing love and support that you have expressed. It is with great honor that I am the subject of Senate Resolution 217, authored by the Majority Floor Leader, Senator Vicente C. Soto III, and co-sponsored by Senator Mig Subiri. I deeply appreciate the resolution commending and congratulating me for defeating Jesse Vargas. My comeback boxing match, where I was declared as the new WBO welterweight champion, is dedicated to all boxing fans and to all of you who believe in me. Nag-uumapaw ang aking pasasalamat sa suporta ninyo at sa sambayanang Pilipino noong hinarap ko si GC Vargas. Buong puso kong inaalay ang aking tagumpay sa inyo at sa ating mahal na Pilipinas. Bakas pa ang mga pasa sa aking mukha, subalit hindi ko ito alintana. Mapasaya lamang at makatulong sa ating mga kababayan at makapagbigay ng karangalan sa ating bayan. Mr. President, patuloy po akong nagpapasalamat sa Poong May Kapal dahil sa kanyang pagpapala at paggabay. Nararapat lamang na siya ay sambahin, purihin at pasalamatan. Boxing is my passion. I come fully alive wherever I am in the ring, but I have a greater passion serving our country. Just like you, Mr. President, my heartbeat is for our fellow men. My fight with GC Vargas is a story ended, but the tougher battles outside the boxing ring are yet to be won. There are bigger problems that we need to confront. There are more complicated issues that we need to clarify. Mr. President, as partners for change, we are solution providers. We shall continue to investigate, debate, and legislate. We shall keep fighting for what is right. As nation builders, we shall keep moving forward. Together we will declare that greater things are yet to come and yet to be done for our nation. To manifest my heartfelt thanksgiving, Mr. President, I would like to donate my WBA welterweight belt to the Senate of the Philippines. The honor does not belong to me alone, but to every Filipino. May it serve as an inspiration for everyone to pursue excellence and continue fighting for our nation's sovereignty. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Pacquiao.
We have a 1-minute suspension, Mr. President, to congratulate the gentleman from General Santos from Mindanao.
Session is suspended. Tsaka, Nakakagasgas ba? Nakakagasgas yata. So, tingnan mo na. Secretary, si Gop. Sa Senate property na ito. So, ayun, may case pala yan. Kasi kailangan sa ibang bench nila. Turnover na sa'yo. Yung kaya namin si Rolando Navarrete daw, binenta daw yung kanya 25,000 pesos. Pero yun, mas mahal yan. Kasi sa bigat na lang pinikwento.
Because Nana is staring at me always. Iwanan mo na yung baso ko?
Tito Sen.
Then he's back here again, it's like nothing happened. Unbelievable.
Pakitanong siya, Tito Sen. Session is resumed. Majority Leader.
Adjourn muna ito. Thank you, Mr. President. I was just adjourning the meeting beside me. Okay, suspended. The meeting is suspended, Mr. President, over here. Before, again, with the permission of the chamber, before we proceed with the reference of business, I move that we recognize Senator Risa Hontiveros to speak on a matter of public interest.
Is there any objection? There being none, Senator Ontiveros is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I rise on a matter of personal and collective privilege. I rise on behalf of Susan Quimpo, a prepubescent girl during the early years of martial law, who spent her weekends packing cooked rice for detainees at detention centers holding political prisoners. 5 of her siblings were imprisoned during martial law, all of them student activists belonging to the underground movement. Her brother Nathan was stripped naked and clubbed several times by his captors. Her brother Jan, and I quote from her book, Subversive Lives, had his head repeatedly immersed in a commode filled with urine. Water was injected into his testicles, and his feet were doused, then jabbed with live wire. Jan Quimpo, encircled in this photo, joined the ranks of the desaparecidos. And the last conversation Susan had with him was when he asked her to leave him some dinner. Another brother, June, was shot in Nueva Ecija in 1981. I rise on behalf of Sixto Carlos, now a jolly man in his 70s, with ruddy cheeks and an easy laugh. He was arrested with no charges filed in 1978 and put under solitary confinement for 2 years. He was viciously beaten, had boiling water poured at him, and was hung from the ceiling by his handcuffed hands. In his own words, he said,